What's going on, guys? Mad Russian here, and today I'm going to bring you guys an Evilswarm deck profile for the March 31st ban list. And bringing you guys an Evilswarm deck profile because I feel like this deck's really relevant, really good against stuff like Blue Eyes, Fluffles, True King, Ancient Gears, and those are the decks I just named on top of my head right now. And I feel like this deck could be really bad against something like Zodiac or Paleozoic, but it's just something that you have to deal with. And this deck does really revolve around decks that special summon level 5 or higher monsters. So, and as you guys can tell from the title, this is a budget deck profile. So don't expect things like Pot of Desires or Solemn Strikes or D-Barriers. You can incorporate those things, of course, just to make this deck a lot faster, but this deck just gives like you a layout of what's expected to be in a standard Evilswarm deck. So without further ado, I'll get started with the deck profile. So with the main deck, I run triple Heliotrope, of course, that's pretty standard. Triple Caster because what you want to see turn 1 to get your Ophion going first turn. And there's a lot of sick combos you can do with Caster as well. Like you can normal summon another Caster, then go to Ophion. And what you can do is if your opponent Solemn Strikes it or Warnings it, and you still have another normal summon for that turn. And what you can do is you can bring out one of your one of your Kyrkions, and then use Kyrkion's effect, banish Ophion, add Evilswarm monster from your graveyard to your hand, and then you get to activate Kyrkion's second effect, which is to normal summon, and then you can go for another Ophion or whatever, right? And so you can basically, that's just one of the combos you can do with this deck. And of course, triple Mandagora, because this card's like your Cyber Dragon of the deck, free special summon, then you can just normal summon and go to any rank 4 you wish. And then I just play one Thunderbird, just because it really does slow down the deck. But what this card can do is basically if you attack, or if it's targeted at all, and it can basically just banish itself and, you know, just kind of avoid that target or destruction effect, and it comes back the next standby phase on any turns, and it gains 300 attack. So it'll be at 1950, which is pretty big. And yeah, so it can just, you can like kind of, let's say you like normal summon it first turn because you don't have the materials to make Ophion. You can just bring it back on your next standby phase and then normal summon another Evilswarm monster and then make Ophion, right? So this card does kind of go away from destruction and stuff like that. And so yeah, I feel like it's really good, but just I feel like at 1 it's pretty good. And then of course 1 Maxi, because Maxi's at 1 now, and I feel like this is like the best draw power in any deck, so I feel like it's just necessary in this deck to run at 1. And for the last monster, I run Rescue Rabbit just because of the heliotropes in here, and yeah, like this is basically the standard Evilswarm monster setup everyone should have. And onto these spells, I run triple Allure of Darkness and triple Pot of Duality. Again, this is a budget build, so I don't have Desires, which would probably be the preferred card to play. But if you don't have Pot of Desires and you don't have Card of Demise, what you can do is just run Pot of Duality and other draw power cards in substitution to those. So it works just as well, especially if you have Ophion on board already, where you don't really need to special summon anymore. You can search out like top 3 cards of your deck and then add one of those cards that are relevant to the situation you're in. So that's why it's in my deck. And of course 2 MST, again Twin Twister, rather pricey, so MST will do for spell and trap removal. And then 2 Infestation Pandemic. I just run 2 because I don't want to brick, and I don't want to see this card in my hand. I'd rather just search it with Ophion. And for the last 3 spells, I run 1 Dimensional Fissure. Because of things like Lightsworn and Infernoids, this is really good to open with along with Ophion. It just puts a lot more pressure on your opponent. 1 Rhoda, of course, and if it was at 2 or 3, of course I'd run 2 or 3 just to search out the caster. And 1 Upstart Goblin, of course. And that's it for the spell lineup. Onto the traps. I run triple Fiendish Chain. And you can probably swap these out for Solemn Strikes if you got them, but this is probably the next best choice to have. And I run 1 Soul Drain and 1 Skill Drain. I run Soul Drain because there's a lot of graveyard effects out there that can hurt your deck, like Fairy Tale Snow, Fearless, a lot of graveyard stuff. So this really does affect a lot of the meta today. And Skill Drain because this doesn't affect Ophion's continuous effect. So having that kind of ability on board is really beneficial to do. One Ring of Destruction for interrupting your opponent's plays. If they're about to XC summon, synchro, whatever, you can get rid of that monster. And just hope it's not a floater, of course, because then it'll get its effect off. One Infestation Infection, just to search out and replace the Evilswarm monsters in your hand for better ones that you need like right away. Bottomless Trap Hole, probably one of the top 3 best summon destroyers. So like, it's not like doesn't negate the summon, but it does banish cards that are summoned multiples like pendulums. This is really good against pendulums. So one Torrential Tribute, definitely top 3, one of the top 3 best field wipes, and that's why I have it in my deck. One Macrocosmos, again because of graveyard and graveyard effects and Lightsworn and Infernoids and things like that grass looks greener. This card's really really good in. So, and it stops a lot of plays too. One Solemn Warning, of course, everyone's got to have this. It's not that pricey. You can definitely pick one up, and yeah, it's definitely one of the best trap cards in the game. And of course, since it's the March 31st ban list, I run 1 copy of Imperial Order. This card is really exceptionally good, because you don't have. This is a very trap heavy deck, so you could run this deck without using a lot of spells. And if you're going against pendulums or a deck that uses a lot of spell cards, this is really good. And so yeah, that's it for the main deck. Off to the extra deck, I run triple Ophion, of course, because your opponent's going to want to get rid of this right away. So I like to run 3 copies. I run 2 Cowboys because I had 14 in my extra deck and I didn't really know what else to put in, so I just put in a second Cowboy. One Evilswarm Bahamut. This is like your Big Eye of the deck, I guess. It's a little shittier than Big Eye, but you can still make plays with it. So, one Rhapsody and Berserk. This is really good against. This is one of those like graveyard things. You can banish 2 cards from your opponent's graveyard, and then you can equip it to your Ophion, let's say, and then make it 3750, which is really good because Ophion is pretty weak in today's meta, so people can run over it pretty easily. One Black Ship of Corn, again for one of those situational opportunities that you've got, like Marshmelon, things that can't be destroyed by battle. Black Ship of Corn is there. One Utopia, one Abyss Dweller. Again, I have a lot of graveyard things here, and a lot of today's meta is graveyard, stuff. So, and Abyss Dweller really does do a lot, especially for cards that like Max C and a lot of hand traps that activate in the graveyard, and that's what Abyss Dweller does. It really stops them. One Silent Honor Arc. Again, it's one of those staple rank 4s you gotta have. One Castel, one Rebellion Dragon, one Direwolf for field removal for any problem cards that are on the field, and one Master Key Beetle. This is pretty good, especially with targeting Imperial Order. You can target it, and then Imperial Order can't be destroyed really at all. So that kind of puts more pressure on your opponent. So yeah, that is it for my extra deck. And on to my side deck. 2 Effect Veiler. This is really good against the Monarch matchup for Idea, and the Monarchs being tributed. You can use Effect Veiler; they won't get their effects, so that's pretty handy. And you can use it for really any situation you see fit when you go up in a matchup. One Spell Shattering Arrow against pendulums and DDDs, really. I have a 3rd Infestation Pandemic, just in case I'm going up against decks that use a lot of spell and trap destruction, just to protect my Ophion. 2 Light Imprisoning Mirrors. This is good against Blue Eyes, Lightsworn, and any other deck that's really like light based. This really helps a lot. Triple Chain Disappearance. This is really good against something like Heroes, Zodiac, stuff like that. Really underrated anti-meta card. and it's pretty cheap too. So yeah, I run triple of those. Triple Royal Decree, because this is really just because of Paleozoics, and it does really stop them a lot. And of course, the last 3 cards, I run triple Imperial Iron Wall, because Infernoids are a thing. Infernoids are really good in today's matchup, so this is definitely a really good side card to have. So yeah, that's it for my deck profile, guys. If you guys like my deck profile or have any suggestions, please leave a like and comment down below about what you think I need to change in my deck. And yeah, that rounds off my deck profile video, guys. And for the last couple of minutes, I'm just gonna have a couple of combo plays shown at the end of the video here for any new Evilswarm deck players that really want to try and play the deck but really have no idea what the combos are and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll get started with some of the combos right now. So what I was talking about with the caster and Kirkion thing was basically what you can do is if you, let's say your opponent has more monsters than you do, you can special summon your Mandragora. You can normal summon Castor, right? And when you normal summon it, you get the normal summon for that turn. So what you can do is you can go overlay into your Ophion, right? And let's say your opponent negates the summon, so it goes to the graveyard. You still have that extra normal summon. So what you can do is you can normal summon Kirkion. You can banish your Ophion from the grave. You can add an Evilswarm monster, preferably Caster, especially if you have another Evilswarm monster in your hand. You can add this to your hand, and you can use this secondary effect to normal summon again, and then now you can have another Evilswarm Ophion, right? And then you can detach, search, etc., whatever you need to do. So that's just one of those combos you have. Another one, another really underrated card, and is Infestation Infection. So what this does really is, let's say you have an Evilswarm monster, right? And this can only work with Evilswarm monsters that are from the main deck. It doesn't work with the extra deck. It only works with the main deck ones. So let's say you attack and they use Mirror Force or something like D-Barrier, or sorry, Dimensional Prison. You can chain this effect to shuffle this back in and then add an Evilswarm monster from your deck to your hand. So that's why I like this card, but just that one, because again it's searchable with Ophion's effect. So this really comes in handy with your main deck Evilswarm monsters on the field. It kind of like protects them in a sort of way, so they go to the deck, and then you get to search one instead of it being destroyed or banished, whatever. So yeah, those are just some of the combo plays. If you're really new to Evilswarms, they're really fun, they're really easy to play, and they stop a lot of the meta in today's format. So again, if you guys like the video, please like and subscribe. I'm definitely going to bring you guys more deck profiles, especially budget ones, because they're easy to obtain, they're a lot of fun. And a lot of YouTubers don't post budget decks because they're really underrated, and a lot of people want to see like a basic deck and how to build it and have like a play test out. And I'll definitely bring you guys uploads from DevPro and Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro on deck builds and plays and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to be signing out now. Hope you guys have a great afternoon, evening, morning, whatever. Thank you guys for watching. Mad Russian out.